All in Sports Network. We love sports.
The Indiana Fever do not need Caitlin Clark, and they perform better without her.
Okay. You just came out like...
Prove me wrong.
I can't because she's not playing.
Uh-huh. And how are the Fever playing?
Okay, but the Fever
the Fever playing?
are playing well, but I'm also like...
In the last 2 games, especially.
Listen.
Caitlin Clark celebrating in the locker room with her teammates for the Commissioner's Cup while doing absolutely nothing.
Hey.
In the Commissioner's Cup.
There's nothing she can do about it. Come on. Like, I do have a theory about that. But anyway, I'm
sorry, what?
Nothing?
What?
Nothing?
No,
I'm wondering if they're keeping her back a little bit because they are playing well right now. And sometimes when you have a couple of games that do well, you want to stay within that. You want to keep that. And if it's questionable if Caitlin should come back, then, and she goes, it's up to you guys. Like, I don't know if she was that kind of player. I think she
wants to be out there.
Yeah, I know she does. I am also just saying.
And I'm saying that right now, they seem to be doing better without her. They have won by more points in these 2 games without her than they have won.
So then I ask, what's the difference maker?
What is the difference maker indeed?
Did I call it a long time ago?
Oh, you're referring to another player that might be the difference maker. Yeah. Who would that be?
That would be Ari McDonald. Like, I called it how many games ago?
Right.
Like, I was like, hey.
Well, when they let her go, you said?
That was a big mistake. I did. And I said it on our podcast. I said that was a really big mistake that they let her go. And I think that she has been a difference maker. I will tell you that, like, but I loved the tenacity of Coach tonight. Like,
the game is put away in the 4th quarter, and she's out there getting teed up.
Oh yeah, she's all fired up and ready to go. Like, I love that. And Caitlin was like, and she and Caitlin were having some like good moments, like meshing back and forth with each other. And I was like, okay, like that was a lot of fun to see. That didn't look like to me a team that was like, I'm sorry, we're doing better without you. When you're a player that cares about your team, like I am praying and hoping and thinking that Miss Caitlin Clark does, this is more important than this. Does that make sense? So I'm hoping that she's being a team player and she's seeing the efforts of her labor from the bench right now. And that she's enjoying time.
You really, really tried to prove me wrong.
I did. I don't know that I did, but...
Well, I'm Kevin.
You can tell us.
This is my wife, Alexis. You can comment below. Yeah. We're happy to present All Indiana Sports as part of the All In Sports and Rogue Media Sports networks. As we said, Caitlin Clark was still out with a groin injury.
Absolutely.
But this game...
I was so bummed, and I was like, no.
Was never close.
No. They did great. They did fantastic.
The Fever held the Aces to only 24 points in the first half. They were up by 22 points at half, so almost double them up in the first half. The Aces only had 47 after 3, and then only 54 in the entire game.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, as we're talking about Asia, I mean, like,
Asia Wilson was the only offense.
Yeah, she was, and she just really carried the team tonight. And I felt bad, like not bad, but I really felt for the coach. That really felt you could see her visible frustration with, the game as a whole, but you could also see like visible frustration with her team and that they were not picking up the slack to help Asia be able to have some rest and do the things that she needed to be able to do as a player. That just was not happening tonight. So that was hard.
You look at 17 turnovers for the Aces.
Yeah.
That's a big number. But on the other side, the Fever had 12. So that's not a whole lot of a difference unless you go into the points off turnovers. That can make a difference. But honestly, the Fever just played more aggressive.
Yeah, they did.
Team-oriented defense.
Yeah.
They were on all the loose balls. They were diving on the floor, Lexi Hull, diving on the floor, getting a foul. Even the fight for jump balls and things like that.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
And, and
Good
at the same time, like, they're playing tough themselves and fighting through calls that maybe should have been called. Some over-the-back calls.
And I think that they were like, they just kind of were like, okay, let's move on. Let's play some basketball. And
it did feel like in the second half, the refs were kind of like, oh, yeah, let's feature Asia Wilson. But you know what? We're from Indiana. We're used to the small market problems.
We're always the underdog. I'm just saying, Mr. Lee.
I mean, there's a reason.
It's a little engine.
They made a movie about basketball and they called it Hoosiers.
Yeah.
And focus on any other state. Okay, let's go into some of the players here.
Yeah.
Natasha Howard again.
Yeah, double,
11 points, 10 rebounds.
I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy. I feel like she's figuring out a groove, and I've said it over and over again. I kept saying I hope that she can pick up, and she has. She's doing it. I'm so happy to see how she's doing it.
And your main criticism of her has been
her ball handling. Yeah,
she only had one turnover.
I know. She
3 assists and 1 block.
Yep, it's like she's listening.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes we feel like that. Like this stuff gets fixed if we talk about.
I know.
It's almost like we're in the locker room. Aaliyah Boston had 20 herself. And 7 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell, 20 led the team with 25 and 6 assists.
Yeah. I was gonna say just something a little off the side note here about Aaliyah Boston. What was it that we were listening to? It was a TikTok or something like that they did where if you had an emergency contact, who would it be on the team? Like, I thought it was really, really awesome to hear how many people chose Aaliyah Boston as their emergency contact. Because they each said they were like, well, I want somebody who would answer. And so that was like, they all said Aaliyah Boston. So that just kind of tells me what kind of a leader she is on the team. Yeah. And I'm loving getting to hear the different personalities and things from the players that way and hearing that kind of personal, I don't know, touch. And it was awesome. And not one person said Caitlin Clark. Not one. I don't know if you're going to tell anything or bring it up or not, but like.
I have a theory on that.
She's a rookie. Leave her alone.
I'm going to talk about that
not
next
a rookie,
episode, not this episode.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about that next episode. So you got to come back for that one. What else to say about this game? Lexi Hull had 7 points and just
all over the place.
I think she had about 13 points of hustle.
Yeah. I mean, she was just all over the place and just a big presence. I think that her role tonight was different because they didn't need her to be as scrappy because of the point differential. Yeah. So I think she just played a different role tonight, and I think Sophie Cunningham did the same thing. I think that she played a different role. I think she had a good game and she was a big presence on the court. So
yeah. There's also the plus minus score, which they give to players based on their performance and how they did on defense.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And look at all of the Fever players in positives here. Plus 26 for Ari McDonald herself.
Yeah.
So even though she only had 8 points, that differential that shows your offensive production as well as your defensive presence. It's great, great to see that kind of thing. So, you know what? That's all that we have for today. We'll be back with our first ever live stream episode
Okay, you
Sunday.
totally just sprung that on me.
At 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 Central. We'll do the same thing. We'll just do it live.
Okay.
The Fever continue their homestand with chances at payback against the Sparks, Valkyries, and the Dream coming up next week.
This is Alexis.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all Indiana.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.